Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to do this gorgeous peachy blonde hairdo. I'm going to take you through start to finish, so let's get started. So we're starting off with a very grown out balayage I did probably a year ago. She has a base 5 natural root and we're going to be lifting it with bleach. The lightener or bleach I'm using today is this Igora Super Plus Vario Blonde. It's really, really good. It has protective stuff in there, almost like Olaplex built into it. So I'm using 2 scoops of that with 4 scoops of developer. I'm using 6% or 20 vol if you're old school. So I'm mixing that together to make a cake batter consistency. If it's too runny, you could add a little sprinkle of powder just to thicken it up. So I've already sectioned the hair into 4 quarters and I'm starting at the nape, where it's usually the most difficult to get the hair to lift. Making sure I've got my gloves on, don't want to burn my fingers. So on a nice thin section at the nape, I am brushing on the lightener on the top and on the underside of that small section. You notice that I've left about 1 centimetre away from the root, and the reason I've done that is because your root is usually a fresher, newer texture, and therefore will lift quicker than the midsection. So you should always do your midsections before you do your roots. You'll see anyway as I go along. So, oops, sorry, I knocked the camera. So I've taken my next section, which is about 1 centimetre wide, and I'm just repeating that process. I'm brushing on the bleach in the middle, top and underside, but I'm not putting it over the already blonde ends. We don't need to lift those ends anymore, they are perfectly light enough. I'm leaving 1 centimetre again at the root, going on the underside to make sure it's nice and saturated, and then I'm adding a hair wrap. These are really quick, you can just slap them on. There's no folding or anything like with foils, and the reason I'm adding that is because we want to keep that hair nice and wet once the lightener is applied. We don't want to let that bleach dry out, because if it dries out it will stop working. So I just work through till I'm about halfway up that first quarter, and then I move over to the next quarter and repeat what I've just done, starting with a 1 centimetre wide section, leaving 1 centimetre away from the root and working my way up till I'm about the same height up in the section as I am the first quarter that I've done. My goodness, this is complicated. I'm really sorry. This is the first time I've ever done a hair video, so sorry if it's a little bit rambly, but I'm sure we'll get there in the end. So now I've gone back over to my first section that I started on and doing 1 section there, and then I'm going back to my second section and doing the next section there. Then I alternate between the 2 sections, working my way up towards the crown. So now we've moved over to the side of the head, and I'm doing exactly what I did, getting about halfway up the section and then moving over to the other side of the head. The reason I do this is because I want the hair to develop evenly. I don't want to sort of finish 1 quarter and then start another quarter. I should also add that I have moved on to 9% with my lightener, my bleach, because obviously I need it all to be ready at the same time. So I've increased the strength of the peroxide so that it all develops evenly. almost there. We're totally covered up. Everything is going to be developing for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, this is what the middle of the hair looks like. So now it's time to remove. Oh yes, that looks great. Now it's time to remove all of these sheets and we'll apply the lightener to the roots. This bit, my client said that it felt really nice. A little bit weird, but quite a nice sensation on the hair. As you can see, it has lifted really well within 30 minutes. I'm telling you, this bleach is awesome. So now I've mixed up some more bleach. This is the same bleach with 9%, and I have to be really, really quick here. So I start by going down the parting and around what you call the halo, the edges of the hair. It's really important that you work cleanly when working with bleach on such dark hair. If you miss any spots, that's it. You are going to be leopard printing that person. That is not what you're after. You need every single hair to be completely evenly covered. So you have to be very thorough and neat when you do this. So now that I've gone around all my lines, I'm going through each quarter and applying bleach to anywhere where there's any darkness at all, mainly the roots, and just thoroughly saturating it with bleach. Again, starting at the nape, because that's usually the hardest area to lift, working towards the crown. So I'm removing the wraps and going around the halo again, down the parting, making sure that's all covered, and then working from the lower part of the section down towards the ear. Adding a plastic bag to make sure it stays nice and wet and will continue to develop quickly for me. So I left that for about 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, you can see we have a lovely even coverage, and it's time to shampoo. After shampooing and blow drying, here is the result. I am very happy with this. This is the perfect colour that we need for the peachy colour to go on top. I tested out the colours to see what sort of a tone I wanted, so these were my three little practice colours. As you can see, one was very, very orange, so we didn't go with that one. To make the colour we wanted, I used Apricot by Directions and Peachy Coral by Crazy Colour. And I just mixed these two semi-permanent colours together until it was the colour I wanted. Because Sam's hair is quite thick, I used the whole tub of both of these and added a little bit of conditioner because I thought the colour looked a little bit too intense. We did want it to be more of a pastel, peachy colour. So here's me mixing in half of the apricot colour and thinking it looked a little bit too wishy-washy, so I decided to add the rest of the tub. Here's me adding about 10 pumps of conditioner just to make it a little bit more pastel all over, and this was the colour I was happy with. So now it's time to apply. I started out by going all over her roots, so starting from the middle, then going from the middle of the crown to the ear, as you can see, either side of those roots and around the halo. And then, similar to before, I went through using 1 centimetre wide sections down each quarter all over the roots. Now comes the part where you get to be a little bit creative. So once the roots are covered, I took small 1 centimetre wide sections and decided to comb down some of the peach colour towards the ends, but not take it all the way through to the ends. Then on my second section, as you can see here, I'm taking my brush loaded with colour and colouring right down to the ends. This is because I wanted to create a little bit of depth and dimension with the peach. I didn't want it to be an all over peach colour like a wig. I'm really working that product in to make sure it's really soaked into the hair. So on my third section, I'm just combing down the root colour towards the ends, but not fully saturating the hair with colour. I just wanted to keep a little bit of that blonde in there, just for a bit of dimension. So I'm just working it in with my fingers. I've not put any more colour on. I'm just dragging down the colour that was already on the root. And I just sort of alternated this, working towards the crown. Sometimes I would paint some more colour on. Sometimes I would just comb it. Sometimes I would paint it halfway down and then comb it. Just got creative. Like I said, this is the fun bit. Both the crazy colour and the directions are semi-permanent, as I said, and they both recommend that you use them on wet hair. As you can see, I have actually dried my client's hair, and this was because the colour does not absorb quite as heavily if your hair is dry, and we wanted it to be pastel. So that is why I dried her hair. I believe the semi-permanent colours are a little bit more vibrant if you apply to wet hair, and that's not what we wanted at all. We wanted it to be nice and subtle. Okay, it doesn't look subtle right now, but trust me, it will in the end. So as you can see, on this section I have painted all the way down to the ends of the hair, and I'm really rubbing it in with my fingers, making sure that it's fully coated in colour. All the colour is applied and we leave it to process for 1 hour. After an hour, it's time to rinse. We don't need to shampoo the hair, we just need to rinse it until all the water runs clear. After it's rinsed, we towel dry it, and it's time to add our special conditioner, which is Fiberplex number 2, and it's specially designed for the bleach that I've used today. I apply the Fiberplex number 2 to the ends of the hair and work towards the root. I then wrap my client's hair in a towel and leave that to soak in for about 5 or 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I've rinsed the conditioner off and it's time for Sam to see her hair for the first time. So here is Sam's hair after I've cut and blow dried it. She's very, very happy with it. We are actually under a yellow fluorescent light whilst I'm colouring her hair, so it does look a little bit more bright and orange than it does in real life. So just for my enjoyment, I'm curling her hair because I always think it's nice to give your clients that little bit extra, of course, when they're coming to have their hair done all special. So after I've curled it, I've sprayed it with a bit of hairspray, adding a little bit of smoother just to break up those curls, make them look a little bit more beachy. And I love ruffly, messy bedhead curls, so I'm really getting my fingers in there and roughing it up, making it as big as possible. The bigger the better, in my opinion, when it comes to hair. And then I'm just spritzing over a little bit of finishing gloss spray, just so that it looks all shiny and sparkly. So here is what the hair looks like under this yellow lamp that I've been working under, and this is what it looks like in natural daylight. As you can see, it is lovely, soft, peachy, orangey coral colour. It's absolutely gorgeous, and as you can see from the smile on Sam's face, she loved it. Here's the before and after. What a transformation. I'm so pleased with it. That's about it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful, and let me know if you would like to see some more hair videos from me in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Yeah.